You know, one of the marks of a great phone is that I could go off and test the latest and greatest, and then I'm still thinking about the previous device. And when I put my SIM back in it, I'm not annoyed that I have to use it again. And in fact, I feel the experience is refreshing. That's exactly what's happened with the Unihertz Titan 2 Elite, a phone that I love quite a bit for a bunch of different reasons. We're about a month on now, so I wanted to give my updated thoughts. Let's bring the camera around and have a look. So here it is once again, our friend, the Titan 2 Elite. And I gotta say, and this is the point I was making in the intro, I was just using the Razr Ultra, the Razr Fold, all these phenomenal devices that I really love. And I didn't mind going back to this phone. When I put a SIM back in this phone, I was playing around with it. I was like, this is a really excellent experience. And I don't think if it were just a BlackBerry homage, if they just slapped a keyboard on an Android phone, that I'd feel that way. The novelty would wear off and I'd be done with it. But that's not what Unihertz has done here. And the thing that I want to get across in this video is that the reason why I think that this phone is successful and will be successful and deserves your consideration is because it's a good mid-range phone first. It's built around the keyboard. There's plenty of keyboard integrations that we'll talk about that are essential for this being a good device, but it's a good mid-range phone. Beautiful display. Just over 4-inch display, bright OLED, super smooth, vivid, saturated colors, phenomenal. This is not a display. Every time you look at this, you're gonna be, wow, this is a really nice display. Something I could have never have said previously about Unihertz phones, if you've used them before. It captures enough of the performance that I need. Dimensity 7400. I don't see a reason to spend more and get the 8400. Maybe you want it, but 12 gigs of RAM, a lot to like in here. You're gonna pair it, plenty of RAM, smooth performance in that Dimensity chipset. I've had no problem with it, especially for when I want. Instagram experience is smooth, social media experience is smooth. It pushes the 120 hertz display beautifully, no problems whatsoever there. So I don't think for what you're going to want to use this phone for, that you need more than the Dimensity 7400. If you're going to keep it for a few years, you want to spend up, I think 600 gets a little pricey, but you can get the 8400 in there as well. Battery life, great. Just over 4,000 milliamp hour silicon carbon battery, easily 2 days, stretching into a third if I need to. So there's enough here. The cameras are improved. You know, people have thrown Gcam on this and gotten great results. So the base is there. And I think that Unihertz then paired that with enough of the essence of a BlackBerry. It's the feel in the hand of the BlackBerry. It's the typing experience of the BlackBerry, the capacitive keyboard of the BlackBerry. So without being beholden to nostalgia, Unihertz built up a device that feels different enough but gives us enough of that experience still that we get the feel that we want, but it's in a modern device that we'll actually want to use. The shortcuts are there. If you got them, you could go ahead and put in, I think it's a short press for Instagram? I forget which one I did. I forget. Short press, ChatGTP. I got long press in there, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Long press, back and forth, so you could program those all you want. I have the side key in here as well for compatibility mode. So if you have an app that for some reason needs that more standard aspect ratio, you could go ahead and put it into that to maintain the compatibility, because Android doesn't always play nice with a 1:1 aspect ratio on the display. So that's something, like I said, you can assign each of the keys to a different program, really feeling like the keyboard is an integral part of the experience. And I love the capacitive swipe. I love being able to open apps on here because 4-inch display. The less amount of time you can have with your big old thumbs blocking the content, the better. So if I could do more on the keyboard, if I could do more on the side of the device, that's something that I'm going to want to do, and you can absolutely do that. And a lot of customization features. Unihertz has done a lot of work on this. Android has, listen, if there were some sort of magical, BlackBerry revival, and the company rolled out a new BB10 device in 2026, I'd be the first online, okay? But that's not going to happen. And as much as I understand that Android as a platform is never going to have the security, is never going to have that, just the privacy that BlackBerry 10 had. It's never going to have the optimization that BlackBerry 10 had on the battery life, and that you could use a lightweight chipset and still have it perform super smoothly because there wasn't a whole lot there. That being said, and understanding that's never coming back, you're never going to duplicate that by and large on the Android platform. Android has plenty of advantages that I think you can build on the original BlackBerry experience. You could skin this to look like a BlackBerry if you want. I have Niagara Launcher on my Titan 2. I love that experience, making it a minimal device. I've seen people put Square Home on here, basically turning it into a Windows phone, which I think is a phenomenal idea. I might actually try to do that. So there's plenty of things that you could do with Android. The widgets, there's so many things that you can do to make this your own. So you could build out an experience that, while it doesn't get, maybe not might be the original BB10 experience, is close enough that will keep you coming back and keep this phone productive for you for years to come. Speaking of that, I get a lot of comments all the time. Oh, Unihertz messed around with me on support. Unihertz doesn't give the support. I can't. They're promising 5 years this time around. Now, what that 5 years is going to look like? I would say it's probably a couple updates a year, and then you get a new version of Android. There have already been a couple updates on this device here. I will say this about Unihertz. Even in the dark days of support for Unihertz, the company was always very good at, even though it wouldn't be a full Android patch, there's like these system patches that the company does to correct any bugs. So if anything came up that was actually a major problem with this phone, Unihertz was excellent in taking care of it. So I got to be fair there. Now, I think they'll provide the support. I don't see any reason why not. It's a pretty stock Android experience, so there's not a whole lot for them to do to release a new version. As long as the keyboard integration remains the same and you're able to do a lot on there, I don't see a problem with that. But if you've been wary about Unihertz because of the support before, I can't blame you. I don't blame you. And I can't sit here and promise that it's going to be phenomenal going forward. And I can't ask you to kind of just forget about your bad experience. You can carry that with you, and I get it. But there is the promise there that wasn't before. It's not like they promised support before and didn't deliver it. It was never promised. Now it's promised. So we'll see what the company's able to do. But this is just a very capable machine. It does everything you want to do it well. There's something to be said about this form factor, just being able to carry around a 4-inch display device in your hand, put it in your pocket. It's a space saver. You still get enough done. I don't feel the need to scroll around social media all day long. The typing experience, excellent. The keyboard is phenomenal. The switches are solid enough, but I don't get, and this is after thousands of words typed on this, I don't get the thumb fatigue that I did on some of the other Unihertz devices that were a little tougher. Okay, so you get a good positive click, but at the same time, it's smooth enough that you can rip through this and your thumbs, your ligaments are not going to cry out at you. What are you doing? So if you haven't picked one up on Kickstarter, link will be in the description. This is a device that so many people could buy this. And that's why I said it's not something that I feel I'm wary to recommend because of the keyboard. Because if you're okay with this form factor, it is a decent mid-range phone on its own. It doesn't rely on the keyboard to get you to buy it. The keyboard is definitely a big part of the device. It's the main appeal of the device to a lot of people. But buy it for the keyboard, stay for the phone. Because the phone itself is a really solid experience all around. And as far as mid-range phones and mid-range prices go, you could do a heck of a lot worse. So I really do like this device. And if you haven't picked one up yet, or if you're thinking about it, it's definitely one I think you're going to want in your hand. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that delicious day.